$500,000. Yeah, you heard that right. That's not a lottery ticket. That's the upper salary range for an AI engineer. We're talking about a role that isn't just ridiculously well paid, but is also shaping up to be one of the most AI-proof jobs of the future. So, welcome to the explainer that's going to demystify the whole path to becoming an AI engineer. We're going to cut through all the noise and give you a real, practical framework. The goal here is to help you figure out not just how to learn, but what kind of AI engineer you actually want to be. All right, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll define the role and its different favors. Then, we'll get into the foundational skills that every single AI engineer needs, no exceptions. After that, we'll dive into the cool specializations, and finally, we'll map out the actual steps to master all this and land that dream job. Okay, let's dive right in. To figure out your path, you first have to understand what an AI engineer really does. And maybe more importantly, how the role is different from, say, a machine learning engineer.
You know what? Think of it like a high-end restaurant kitchen. The AI engineer, they're the head chef. They're designing the entire menu, making sure all the different parts, the appetizers, the main course, the service, all work together perfectly to create an amazing experience for the customer. The machine learning engineer, on the other hand, is the specialist. They're like the pastry chef, who obsesses over perfecting one single component, in this case, the AI model itself, to make it the absolute best it can be.
So, and this is a really crucial point, AI engineer isn't just one single job description. Your work is going to fall into one of three main buckets. Are you an integrator? The person who builds the bridge to get AI into the real world. Or maybe you're a builder, someone who's pushing the boundaries of what's even possible. Or are you an all-rounder? The versatile problem solver that startups absolutely love. Now, before you even think about specializing, there's a core set of skills that are completely non-negotiable. This is the foundation, the concrete slab that every single AI engineering role is built on top of. First and foremost, Python. It's not even a debate. We're talking about the undisputed #1 skill employers are looking for. It's the language you're going to use for literally everything, from wrangling data all the way to building and training your models. Next up, data structures and algorithms. And please, don't skip this. It's not just about acing those crazy hard technical interviews at Google or Meta. It's fundamental to writing clean, efficient code that can actually handle the massive data sets you'll be working with in AI. You also need a really solid grasp of foundational math. Now look, you don't need to be a math genius, but you can't really understand or fix or improve a model if you don't get the principles of linear algebra, calculus, and statistics that make the whole thing tick. And finally, basic SQL. You might be wondering, really, SQL? Yes, really, because pretty much all the data you'll ever work with is stored in a database somewhere. You absolutely have to know how to get it, join it, and filter it before you can even dream about training a model. All right, so you've got those foundations in place. Now we get to the fun part. Let's see how your focus starts to shift based on the specific job you're aiming for. This is where you tailor your learning. Okay, now this slide is super interesting because it visually maps out the priorities for each role. Just look at it. See how MLOps and DevOps are critical for an integrator, but almost an afterthought for a builder? And for a builder, that deep math knowledge is everything. The all-rounder? Well, they need a healthy dose of everything. Go ahead and pause here for a sec and see where your own interests line up. So as an integrator, your entire world revolves around getting AI models into the real world. You are an expert in deployment, infrastructure, and automation. You live and breathe cloud platforms like AWS and Azure, and your toolbox is packed with MLOps essentials like Docker, Kubernetes, and CI/CD pipelines. That's continuous integration and delivery, basically the automated magic that gets code into production safely and reliably. The builder, on the other hand, lives in a completely different world, a world of deep theory and cutting-edge innovation. Your goal isn't just to use models, it's to invent them. This means you need a profound knowledge of math, statistics, and frameworks like PyTorch, all with a mindset that's geared towards pure research and development. And then we've got the all-rounder, the ultimate utility player. You're the person startups dream of because you're so versatile. You're a problem solver who knows that not every problem needs a giant Gen AI hammer. You can prototype super fast, and you know exactly which tool to grab for the job, whether it's a simple regression model or a complex AI agent built with something like RAG. That's Retrieval Augmented Generation, which is a fancy way of saying you make models smarter with external data. Okay, knowing what to learn is a huge piece of the puzzle, but it's only half the battle.
Now let's talk about the how. This is the practical, step-by-step game plan for actually mastering these skills and getting hired.
Let me be clear. The only way to truly learn this stuff is by building. You can't just watch videos and read books. You have to get your hands dirty. Start with simple scripts, then move on to classic machine learning projects. But the real goal? It's building complex, end-to-end applications that solve a real problem. And finally, you tackle an unguided project to prove you can think and solve problems like a real engineer.
And that brings us to this quote, which just absolutely nails the new reality of the job market. Your portfolio on GitHub, the projects you share, your journey that you document on LinkedIn, that stuff is often way more powerful than a traditional resume. Recruiters will literally find you.
So, let's boil this all down to your final action plan. This is what you can start doing today. Start building your professional network on LinkedIn right now. Create a polished portfolio that shows not just your code, but the why behind your projects. Contribute to the open source community. It builds massive credibility. And please, never, ever underestimate the power of communication.
So there you have it. You now have a strategic framework to build a real career in AI, one that actually aligns with your passions and your strengths. Whether you want to be an integrator, a builder, or an all-rounder, the path is there. The only question left is, which one are you going to choose?